By the way, Iran's getting ready to conduct a nuclear test, probably. Postol and I have been talking about this for a long time. Nuclear weapons, by order of their nature, kill civilians massively. We're forcing Iran to go nuclear.
I want to go back to you mentioned Bibi's kind of approval rating or vibes inside the country. And I want to go back to this call. I asked people yesterday, you're effing crazy. And again, notice the author and the publication. This is from Axios, Barak Ravid, who we all know is an inside trader using his articles to, I guess, create market volatility. I asked people if they even thought that this call even happened at all. And most people gave mixed answers. Here's Trump doubling down on it this morning.
You were angry with him. You said, are you effing crazy? What are you effing doing? I helped you stay out of jail. Is that true? Did you speak to him in those terms?
I did. I wouldn't say angry. I was a little bit perturbed at his constantly fighting with Lebanon. You know, at some point I said, Bibi, we got to stop this. We got to stop it. But I have a very good relationship. We've done well together. He always says, we could never have done it, but everybody knows that we could have never done it without the United States. But I've worked very well together. I like Bibi a lot, and I've worked very well with him. We had I'm a wartime president. He's a wartime prime minister, very important part of the world. And I think we've done, very well. We've gotten along very well together.
What do you make of the phone call and the contents of it?
I think it was pretty much as advertised, and I understand from others who've given me information besides Axios that there were several effing words in there. And I will say something else too. I've had people who were fairly close to Donald Trump way back, and they tell me that he despises Bibi Netanyahu and that Bibi Netanyahu despises him. They get along, and they have to get along because it's the closest relationship that America has with any other state in the world. And it's an essential relationship for Israel. They wouldn't exist if the United States weren't supplying them. That's a statement of fact. They would have been overrun a long time ago. And maybe even other critical factors would have played too, like when Golda Meir was threatening to use a nuclear weapon in the 1973 war, and other similar episodes. And the story of how they got nuclear weapons is just a story of perfidy, French, British, American, and all the things that South Africa did to allow them not to conduct just one, but 2 or 3 nuclear tests. By the way, Iran's getting ready to conduct a nuclear test, probably. It's about 60% assured now, I think. And it's a long backstory, but we knew it was going to happen. We knew that they had probably reconsidered once the Ayatollah was killed, the way he was killed. And we're going to have a wholly different situation when Iran explodes a weapon and everybody knows that they're a nuclear power, an entirely different situation. The question is, will it be more positive or decidedly negative?
Are you corroborating the rumors that Larry Johnson and Pepe Escobar have also stated that Iran does have a nuclear weapon?
Not just that. Professor Emeritus at MIT, Ted Postol, and I have been talking about this for a long time. And I agree with him. And I did the negotiations up close and personal with North Korea when Kang Sak-ju and Yi-gun turned to our representative in Pyongyang and said, put your economic package away. We already have nuclear weapons. We have 6 to 12 of them. Boy, what a shock that was for Jim Kelly to get that information, and even more so to bring it back to Colin Powell. But that's how quickly they got them, and we thought they were still, months, if not a year or 2 away. They already had 6 to 12 weapons. So Ted's theory is that they have something underground, deep underground, unknown to Mossad or CIA or any intelligence services except possibly the Chinese or the Russian. And they have all the ingredients there, and they were just waiting to marry them up: warhead, fissile material, missile. And they've done that now. And Ted puts a 60 to 80% probability on it. And when Ted does that, I listen. So it would mean that the information I got in New York when I met with Ahmadinejad at the UNGA, and he put his foreign minister in front of me who spoke fluent English. Ahmadinejad had to have a translator. He spoke some English, but he used a translator most of the time. The foreign minister looked at me and said, "You're a military, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I am." You know the word operationalized, don't you? I said, "Of course I do." He said, "What do I have to do to operationalize the fatwa? Do I need to go to the UN Security Council or to the Oval Office and on bended knee spread blood on the floor and tell you it's anathema for Islam to have a nuclear weapon? We do not kill civilians. Nuclear weapons, by order of their nature, kill civilians massively. We do not want them." I believed him. And therefore I supported the JCPOA fully because I didn't think they had made a decision to build a bomb. Well, we changed that. Be careful what you wish for when you don't have a strategy to gain it. We're forcing Iran to go nuclear.
One of our viewers asked this, but coupled with, isn't Israel just a proxy of the US, but coupled with what we've discussed, Bibi today or this morning released an official thank you to the United States Congress for attempting to combine the two militaries. I used to agree that Israel was nothing more than a proxy of the United States, the unsinkable aircraft carrier, but now I'm not so sure. What are your thoughts on that?
I've always thought Israel was a strategic liability, not an asset. Even during the Cold War, I thought that. I was a pariah in that thought in the military. But after the Cold War ended, I was not such a pariah. And a lot of military officers began to agree with me that they were more a strategic liability than an asset. My original view was based on the fact that as long as they had done what they had done since 1948, there would never be peace in the region. And therefore, having an aircraft carrier upon which there would never be peace was not very strategically viable. And then my view changed markedly, of course, once it was not the Cold War anymore, and we didn't need the aircraft carrier in the eastern end of the Mediterranean that never sunk. And I watched what Israel was doing, doubling down, tripling down on the anathema that they had created since 1948. And I said, this is a hell of a liability. So you're right, I think now. But we're each other's worst enemy. We have made each other our worst enemies. At the same time, we think we're making each other friends. Just look at this relationship that people like John Hagee and Mike Huckabee and others have with Israel. They think the end times will mean the killing of all the unbelievers. Well, that includes Jews. The Jews think that's bull. And therefore, they're allying with people like Hagee and Huckabee and so forth because they don't think anybody's going to come down to earth. And if it's a Messiah that comes down to earth, Cyrus the Great was really the Messiah. It'll be another person, whatever. They don't think at all, and yet they're locked. They're locked with one another. It's duplicitous. It's insidious. It's profane. And yet we're locked into it, and they are locked into us. They couldn't survive without us now. And I'm not so sure. This is my pronouncement. Israel as a Jewish state will cease to exist within a year or two.